Hi, welcome back to Motech Performance. I'm Mike, behind the camera is Jay. Today, more M3 and M4 talk. When these cars first came out, they got a lot of slating about the front grills and the beaver teeth and everything else like that. And now that talk is still there, but not as much, purely because the new M3 Touring's come out and the CS and people start to fall in love and they get used to it. Now, one thing people were very unsure about was the BMW M Performance exhaust with the sort of quad rocket style outlet, if you like. Looked a bit sort of LFA, a bit sort of JDM style. I was always a bit of a fan. What wasn't a fan of is the way that BMW tried to sell it. They would show you a completely standard car at the dealership, maybe the dealer principal's car, with this exhaust on, and it just didn't tend to work because the exhaust is just too overpowered for the rest of the styling. So hence why Remus come along. Now, we also work with Quicksilver. What Quicksilver have actually done is instead of trying to compete against Remus and having the twin either side, so it's fairly symmetrical, they have done this, which is really nice. So it comes complete as a OPF back system, or this is actually the cat back system. So it takes out the secondary cats, the OPFs, and it obviously has their sports rear box. And as you can tell by the sound clips that Jay's already done, it's all worked on their app. So that means you can have it cold on you can have the valves cold on a cold start, when obviously the genuine BMW won't let you do that. Nice little lots of detail into it. Carbon fiber tailpipes where the M Performance was like a sort of steel, sort of black ceramic. And of course the diffuser, because this is a replica, is full carbon fiber, including the middle, which obviously gives it a bit more nice detail and a bit more of a premium look over the genuine BMW, which has like a weird sort of steel bit into it. We've had a few BMW cars in with this M Performance exhaust, and the biggest problem is I quite like the look of them. Now cars are coming modified and lowered and different wheels and stuff, it starts to work with the car. It was just never enough. The rear box was so expensive and there wasn't enough tone difference between a standard one and what BMW was selling. Okay, apart from the looks, you also are buying a performance exhaust for sound. So yeah, again, Quicksilver nailed that, and as you can tell, the difference in the valve on this one, open and closed, is phenomenal. So the back box is huge, very well designed.
Hey, I'm Ollie from Quicksilver Exhausts, and this is our G82 M4 and M3 exhaust. This system kind of replicates the V configuration that's found on the MPE exhaust, but we had a couple of criticisms of the MPE system, which I think you guys probably did too. One, it doesn't sound any different, and secondly, it kind of hangs a bit weirdly on the car. With this system that we've developed in connection with our technical partners at CarbonWurks, you get the exhaust which tucks up really nicely and fills the valance, and you get the carbon diffuser as well with the carbon center insert, which you don't get on the original MPE. Similarly, this system comes in at a big cost saving over the MPE, but with a superior soundtrack. Its second party piece is in its ability to offer that real Jekyll and Hyde character. The original exhaust, both on the quad and on the MPE, has a couple of flaws. One, it's got to meet WLTP sound restriction, so that means that it has to be typically under 90 decibels and is constantly self-cancelling itself on its original valve protocol. With Quicksilver, you get the sound architect. Now this puts you back in control of the valve, so that rather than the valve snapping shut regardless of driving mode below 30 miles an hour, which they do on the original, with this one you can have it fully open 100% or fully closed without interference from the car. The other benefit, of course, is that if you're leaving early in the morning, you can completely close the valves on the cold start if you value a good relationship with your neighbours, which you can't on the original. This system comes in two parts. First one is you can have the OPF back, and that allows you to keep the car emissions and warranty friendly in most cases, and still achieve a superior sound. This car sports the full system, so around here you've got the OPF back system, which finishes about halfway down the car, and then right the way up to the front pipes and the OEM catalysts, you've got an OPF and secondary cat delete section. Now, typically you can find these are quite boomy sounding, and what I think one of the criticisms we get from other manufacturers' systems is that if you basically delete the secondary cat and the OPF and do a system, it's undrivable. Not the case with this one, and as you'll hear on the video, it offers refinement that I think goes above anything else on the market. So we achieve that twofold. One, in the center, we have a resonated X-pipe pressure exchanger, so that mixes the gases from both banks, giving you a smoother 6-cylinder tone. We're trying to sort of get rid of some of that typical buzz-sawry rasp, kind of keep the character very BMW M sounding, but a smoother and more well-rounded note. And then at the back end, we've got this triple chambered silencer, which is obscured by the lovely carbon diffuser, but essentially fills most of the rear valance of the car. Now with the valves open, the gases come straight out of these centralized tailpipes. So they're literally coming in and bypassing the box. With the valves shut, we've got our triple chambered silencer, and that's paramount to achieving the refinement on the car. With the valves shut, the gases divert into Helmholtz chambers, into a separate middle chamber, and have perforated sections. So you're basically getting 3 different types of attenuation. So it's not just dropping volume, it's cutting that 80 kind of hertz bassy boom that 6 cylinders, particularly straight 6s, are notorious for. So you've got that real on-off switch type sound, which I find is not achievable on the stock system. So better looks, better performance, better sound, better valve function, buy it.